Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay. If you're new here, hello, welcome. I am still a little bit stuffy. I know I recorded another video already stuffy, but I'm gonna do it again. In today's video, we're gonna be doing my class reflections on the tip challenge. This is for the 2022 Sacramento tip challenge. We're gonna go over my handling conditioning class, in-hand trail, and my freestyle. So let's get into it. The first class is handling conditioning. Every sort of obstacle or step was out of 5, except for overall appearance and weight and muscling. Those were both out of 10. In total, we had 40 points in handling and 20 points in conditioning. So I thought the walk from the cone to the pen was really good. She's really, really soft. And it was a pretty small pen. And unfortunately, I had never taken her to another show, so this was like a whole new environment for her. You could see she kind of started checking some stuff out, which is fine. Like I don't care too much if she wants to look at things. I just needed to get her attention, and of course when I walked in was when she started to kind of walk off. So she smelled my hand and then she just was like, see ya. So this was definitely not my favorite. I just tried to stay as quiet as possible and kind of bring her back to me, but she just wanted to check everything out. So I just stayed really calm and collected as much as I could. I was trying to kind of get her eye there, and she got kind of distracted by something, and so I just kind of turned her head a little bit towards me and tried to just keep going on. Once I did have her, she actually stood really, really well for the haltering, and she kind of dropped her head down. That is something that I worked on, is getting her to understand that down meant for her to drop her head. Kind of took one little step right there, but I wasn't too concerned about it. She had a really nice walk here, stayed right at my shoulder, which was fantastic. I wanted her to just stand like this, and again, because it's a new environment, she was wanting to smell everything. I didn't realize that in the background someone lost their hat in the middle of the in-hand trail, so that was another distraction that I don't think she even saw. Unfortunately, she does ground tie at home, and she just was not cooperating. She wanted to smell everything. So I tried to just stay calm and relaxed and come back around, keep brushing her. So I brushed her face a little bit just to kind of show the judges that that's something that she is okay with. I wish that I had gotten a little bit better hold on my lead rope right there. Honestly, part of me wishes I just dropped the lead rope because she knew that that was to ground tie, and I don't think I ever did, just because I was so nervous that she was just gonna dip out, which she kind of was. So I put my brush back down. I think kind of fixed my lead rope a little bit, because you don't want to be dragging your lead rope all over the ground. You can see it's still pretty long, but it's not actually touching the ground. It was a nice little trot off, decent stop. She kind of swung her butt out, so her back was a little crooked, which I was not thrilled about, but we ended up kind of correcting it. Once again, she was just wanting to smell things, and it's partially because there's poop on the ground, there's horses that rolled right there. I mean, that whole patch looks like someone rolled, so it's really not a huge deal. I just was trying to go through and keep her calm. You can see I'm kind of petting her here. Pick up that front foot. And with the feet, I wanted to show that she could have them manipulated all over, whether it was in between my knees or kind of pull back or forward. kind of slapping her feet to make sure that it's clear that she will stand there for whatever. Except she wasn't standing there. So that's good. I kind of wish that I'd gone back up to her head and kind of just reset, because at this point she had no idea what she was doing, and I didn't really know how to approach this anymore other than try not to get frustrated, because I knew that she could stand. Sorry, the filming is a little off here. It was a lovely little smile, Penny. This was probably one of the most frustrating parts about this class, because this is something that I thought that we would just nail. I'm very showmanship driven, like I love showmanship, so I thought that we would just get this down. There wasn't really a haunch turn in the pattern, but I thought it was a good way to make it look clean, just moving on to getting into the trailer. This trailer was super tall, so it was definitely new, but with how many times we practiced getting into just my 2-horse straight load, I thought that this would be pretty much a breeze for her. And luckily, what I did that I think helped was that I went really slow getting her in. I didn't really like push her, and some people did, which I think is why we ended up with a decent score on getting in the trailer. This trailer also had a ton of stuff in the very front, so it was like, not only was it tall and a stock trailer instead of a straight load that she's used to, there's all this stuff up front that it just was like, I don't know what's going on, but there's so much. Right here, we're taking forever, but it was just me trying to get her to back out of the trailer. You could see that she was so nervous about it because it was so tall, but she ended up backing out, which was huge. So I got her out of the trailer, did a little bit of a turn to kind of face towards the judge, got her set back up as best I could. She was again kind of distracted with what was going on. Good present. Do another little turn to get her to move off. Oh wait, no I didn't. Just kidding. I just walked. For the weight and muscling, Penny started getting really ribby towards the end of it. And I think that if I had really like just pushed food on her, we would have gotten a better score for weight and muscling. For overall appearance, we got a 10. Again, when I am so focused on showmanship, everything has to be perfect. Total score for that event, we ended up with a 49.5 out of 60. Not bad, but it got us 10th place. It was not the best placing. The next class is in-hand trail. We ended up placing 5th in this class, which was insane. I was not expecting that. She was already a little bit distracted, and I was just kind of hoping just to keep her attention. She was watching absolutely everything. I think in the future doing a tip challenge, I don't know that I'm gonna do a baby again just because baby brain. She had a decent little trot off, and then I think we're the only ones in this event that got a 5 on our trot poles, and she just did a fabulous job. I kind of thought she was gonna break, but she picked up the trot and just stayed consistent through it. Got a nice little stop. Our haunch turn was fairly quick, so I think that that's partially why she just did a couple little steps. It was a full 360 haunch turn, and then we had to kind of go back the other way. So I ended up doing a little bit of a forehand that wasn't actually in the pattern. Nice quiet walk off up to the gate, and this is one of the weirdest obstacles. I have never in my life seen an in-hand back through gate, and we ended up figuring out how to do it. It just isn't something that my show brain could quite understand. I kind of gave her a second because there was a lot of like the flags on there, so she was a little bit hesitant. And basically I did kind of like this scooping motion of kind of like pushing her forward and bringing her back in front of me. Again, she just wanted to check things out, so it was one of those that it was a little bit sticky. It was fine, we ended up doing it, but it was just sticky. You can see I kind of switched my hands there really quick. I put the gate in the hand that normally I would have just on the lead rope, which bothers me, but we ended up getting through it just fine. Nice quiet back once we got straight. I don't think there was a haunch turn here in the pattern, but I did it just to make it look clean. Her trot off was like, okay, it wasn't great. Here we're supposed to jump barrels, and I've said before that I did not want to train her on barrels. She was a yearling and I didn't feel comfortable training her on barrels over and over. So basically I went with what we got. I figured if she doesn't do it, she doesn't do it. I was trying to kind of go about this a couple different ways of just giving her a lot of slack to look over it, but she just didn't want to, and it's fine. I kind of wish that what was the option, because you can see that there's some half barrels. They're actually there for the burros, I think. Those half barrels are there for the burros and junior youth, and I wish what would have been an option is, hey, if your horse isn't going to go over the full barrels, you can try these half barrels for half points or something like that. I wish that that was an option, because I would have then gotten some points for attempting an obstacle. We actually were asked by the judge to move on, which is fine, it's whatever. So we picked up the trot, and then I had to pick up this flag, which the greatest thing about this is everyone as competitors got one of these as just like a gift. So I took that with me into the arena and practiced with it so many times, just in case something like this were to happen. So here you can see I'm kind of swinging it back and forth. I'm just showing that she doesn't really care about it. A little bit wiggly going over the bridge, just because it's another new obstacle, so not a huge deal. I do wish that I bunched up my lead rope, because it does say on the actual score sheet that my lead rope was too long and it was dragging on the bridge. So she ended up getting her feet on. I was excited about it. She went a little bit crooked, but that was okay. I wish that I'd gotten her settled back down. I was already feeling a little bit frazzled before this, so I wish that she had stood well before I put the flag back in. Asking her for a walk-off, which was good. This was beyond frustrating. Penny knows how to side pass. She 100% knows how to side pass. She's known how to side pass for a long time. I don't know if it was just the fact that it was black cones, it was something that was different, but you could see she kind of pushed past me there, and I just took a second to kind of back her back up, because, ma'am, you don't need to run me over. So I tried to get her just set back up, and this is not the way I would go about it in a show either, because I really don't like pulling my horse into me. So I wanted her to kind of check it out and then just take a second. Normally what I would do is push her away from me in a side pass, but because that wasn't working, I tried to go to the other side and see if she would just do it towards me. Unfortunately, you guys can't see that either. You can see me asking for it before I finally just kind of step back over, get her line back up, and she just wasn't cooperating. So unfortunately, I let my nerves get the best of me and just kind of walked on. What I wish I'd done is either gone ahead of the cones or behind the cones and asked her for that side pass instead of going directly over, because I missed out on points going the other direction. Here we're just doing a nice little forehand, which she does pretty well. I think she sticks it. Yeah. And then I switch back over, acknowledge my judge, and I walk off, and I was just done. I was so frustrated with this class, and you could tell I just wasn't thrilled. I tried to still praise her because this is something that's totally new for her, but I was really bummed because I knew that this was all stuff that we could do. The only thing I was a little bit like, oh, she's not gonna do it, is the barrels. So we got 43.5 out of 65 points. The last class we've got is freestyle. So this is my favorite. This was so nerve-wracking. I just took a second to just breathe before I went in because I was nervous. See, Penny's just like So what we were actually supposed to do here is step onto the bridge and then back off. I was supposed to kind of stand on and kind of do this. It was supposed to be like walking the plank. And she just stepped off. I think it's partially because the tarp was so close. And that's just because of my miscommunication to the people that helped me set up. So had to kind of improvise a little bit, trotted off there, and went into our haunch turn. And this is all stuff that we came up with. So when you're creating a freestyle pattern, there's not really any guidelines that you have to go by. But if you're listening to the music in this, basically I put in a bunch of sound effects to also make everything kind of extra emphasized, which was a huge bonus actually. I ended up talking to Sam Van Fleet, who was one of the judges, and she said that my music matching everything that I was doing was huge for creativity points. Creativity or choreography, one of the two. Did a nice little trot off, and because this is a side pass, I just kind of took a second to calm her down, and she still was like, I don't know what a side pass is, and I was like, yes you do. So she wasn't side passing towards me, so I was like, fine, whatever, I'll just get on the other side. You see she does it a little bit, just a couple steps, and then unfortunately the cheering, the crowd fighting sound stopped, so I just moved on to the next thing. My thing was spinning, so I had to try to correct it as much as possible. This was something I decided to add in last minute, the rope. But I think it was great. It was a nice way to kind of take the captain down.
30 seconds.
I was so proud of her for this. This was so much fun. This was one of the funnest classes I've ever competed in, as much as I wanted it to be perfect. It was so much fun. Here was another time that I was hoping to get her to kind of step towards me or move forward, and she just kind of locked up. So just move on and did the next thing. And I think that that was a big point that Sam and I also talked about, was the fact that first of all, I was trotting everywhere. I was on a mission to get to the next spot. And the other thing was that when something didn't work out the way I wanted it to, I just kind of moved on and was like, yep, we're good. Going on to the results here. So we had 2 different judges, and each judge had 40 points. So they're judging based off of horsemanship, degree of difficulty, choreography, and creativity. For horsemanship, for each judge, I got a 9 from judge 1 and an 8 from judge 2. For degree of difficulty, I got an 8 from judge 1 and 7.5 from judge 2. Choreography, I got a 9 from judge 1 and an 8 from judge 2. And then creativity, I got a 9 and an 8, judge 1 and judge 2. So overall, I got a 35 from judge 1 and a 31.5 from judge 2. That got me an overall score of 66.5, and that got me 2nd place, and I was shocked. That was what made me cry. I didn't cry when I got the buckle. I cried over a 2nd place in freestyle because I didn't do anything fancy. I didn't do any fun tricks. I just did like the basic things that we were good at. I ended up going up to Sam after the event was over, and I just said, why did I get 2nd place? Like, I didn't feel like I did anything special. There were people that did absolutely insane things, and what Sam had said was that she likes to see a balance when it comes to this event. She likes to see some fun tricks, but really likes to see that the Mustangs can actually do things like side passing, do things like walking over a bridge. We ended up getting second place overall for rookie, and fourth place overall for adult. The crazy thing is the person that got third place had 160 total points and I had 159.5. So if I had literally just done that side pass, it still kills me to this day, because if I had just done that, I would have gotten a higher placing. And I also was only 4 points behind second place overall, and first place overall had 172 points. Cheyenne obliterated the competition. I thoroughly recommend doing a tip challenge. I think it was so much fun, and especially for a first time experience, I was so proud of myself and of Penny. We both worked so hard for this, so it was really, really cool to be able to still win a buckle out of all this. It was so cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.